All right, welcome to the show. I think the show might have started a little earlier than I thought, so I'm gonna have to edit that out later. Welcome to, let me make sure we got here. Welcome to our fifth episode of COVID EO TV, live TV. We've got a couple of guests lined up tonight for the show. I guess before we begin, though, I do need to make sure that my temperature is not excessive here. There we go. 98.5, so good. We're good to go, making sure my guests are safe and no one's going to end up getting sick from me. So, let's see. Okay, so we are live. I see some feedback. It looks like that might be Jack commenting there. I'm not sure what is going on. I got one live viewer, exactly. All right. So I'm sure it will be ramping up. Here we go. I'd like to bring our first guest on today. Our first guest here today is our whole theme today is going to be the medical or healthcare. Our first guest is a nurse in an emergency room here in the Northwest Indiana area. Let me just bring up the audio here and bring up the screen. There you are. All right, let's give a nice co-video live TV welcome to Miss Kim Biggerstaff. Hello, Kim.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm sure you've been watching the news or hearing the news. I've said it before on this show. We aren't really a news program. The news you get is through the intelligent and informative guests that I choose to have on with me, you being one of them. But I'm sure you heard that our neighbors over in Illinois, they didn't call it a shelter in place. They called it stay home, please. What do you make of that? Did you hear that today?
I did. I think everybody did, especially if you're on social media. I think it's kind of hard to not see that.
I know.
In regards to that, I think it's just, they're just telling everybody to stay home, just to protect everybody. Just, the social distance is what you keep hearing too, as well on social media and on the news, just so that we can help stop spreading this virus.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that Indiana's probably pretty close behind with the same rules.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, my gut's telling me. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was something by the by rather the beginning of next week. Not based on any particular what's the word, intelligence or something that I had heard, but you just get the feeling that we're heading that general direction, which I think is generally a good thing, wouldn't you say? In an effort to control the spread of the COVID-19.
Yeah, just because we don't have like a certain, medication for it or anything like that. I think we just need to do our part as a community, and just stay home so we can just stop spreading this virus.
Mm-hmm. So what is it like day to day? I mean, the whole point, when I thought of people that work in the healthcare field, I wanted to get somebody, would it be saying too much to say you're on the front lines of what may be going on? And what are you seeing? What's it like day to day?
Well, we're definitely on the front lines. I think the community where I work at, I feel that actually have been listening to what they've been hearing on the news and social media. Typically, I would say that we're very packed. We're always on bypass. The wait hours, the wait times are usually 3-4 hours sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But within the last 2 weeks, I would say that it's been a lot less than that. And the people we are seeing are actually really sick people and people that should be there.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, I think we're doing well. The team's doing well. The only thing I would say that's a little confusing at times is every single day that we go back to work, I feel that there's new protocols by the CDC. So that keeps changing all the time. That's just something that we just have to educate ourselves, just stay current on so that we know that we can protect ourselves while we're working. And then, of course, when we come home for our families.
Exactly. I was wondering how far back that you might have been even starting practicing or rehearsing or studying, or when did you even catch a whiff of it, what may be going on or where we would be today?
Anytime, every year there's a new virus, unfortunately, and it's luckily, the hospital is very on top of that. We have a whole department that's specifically on that. So when they hear something new, they, right away, they're letting us know, they alert us, and then we take the proper precaution and we know the protocols and what to take. So in regards to that, I feel like our hospital is very well prepared. The main thing right now is like the whole shortage is what you keep hearing in regards to like the emergency rooms,
Mm-hmm.
or hospitals, of course. And so that's something that, I don't think that right now we have that problem, that issue, but if they, they're saying that it possibly will be an issue in the future. And I just hope that we don't have to, have that situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, worst case scenario is that people who, if so many people are sick all at the same time, too many people would overwhelm the hospital. We keep hearing that there wouldn't be enough
Correct.
resources there, right?
Correct. And that's the big thing with this COVID-19 that you keep hearing. It's more of the respiratory. And, everybody keeps talking about, oh, we don't have enough supplies. We don't have enough ventilators, possibly for these patients that are going to be coming in. But
Mm-hmm.
we also have to remember that even if we had these ventilators per se, because that's like one of the big things that we have a major, that we need more supply of, and that's what they're worried about. But we won't have the demands for the nurses for that either. And that's where we need to, I think, focus on, because we have tons of nurses that work at the hospital, but not every nurse is equipped or certified or trained to even work a ventilator. At our hospital, my hospital that I work at specifically, we actually are fortunate enough to have a specific team that helps us with that. And we don't have endless amount of those specific people, which we call like the respiratory therapists. We don't have just 50 working at one shift, or we have, I don't know, maybe approximately 15 of them that, help with the entire hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something else too that, we have to look into. I'm not sure exactly if they looked into that, but I feel like that's just another thing that we have to worry about, because if it gets to where they think it is, you watch the news in China or in Italy, it's scary. It's a scary thing. And I just hope that we don't have to experience something like that.
Yeah, we hear over and over about the shortage of equipment and for people in extreme distress who do need ventilators. But you put in perspective the people that are able to operate that, authorized to or certified to, right? Certified people to work the equipment.
To operate that, yeah.
And it also assumes that they are at work and that they're healthy and they're not sick themselves, right?
Correct. Yeah. Because eventually, if it really gets to where they say it is, it's going to get bad, and even the nurses and doctors are going to be affected by this, or the respiratory therapists, and then that's when you're going to see a decrease in staff, because the staff members as well are going to be sick.
Mm-hmm.
So just something, again, I just hope that that's not something that we have to encounter. We try to stay safe. We're trying to use the proper precautions, because we want to be safe. We don't want to bring this home to our families.
Oh, amen. And again, the whole point of this show is to be entertaining and to provide some level of insight and information. We're presenting this information not to scare the hell out of people, but just hopefully to get people to see the seriousness of something as simple as staying home and minimizing your interactions with other people. This is where you're going to see the problems if people don't do it. We all need to do it. So I appreciate you coming on, but I didn't want to dwell too much on professional aspects. All the guests that come on, I kind of want to get an insight as to what they're doing. We're all kind of cooped up. You obviously get a chance to get out to work, but the family's at home. Our kids go to the same school, and they're going to be out until at least May 1st here in the state of Indiana. How are you coping as a family with being together? Is it...
It's okay. It's a little struggle. I have 3 kids at the school. So, just getting the constant emails, it's a little hard to kind of read through everything. So, it's honestly, I found out, after 2 days that it's better to do like a routine. My little guy is a first grader, so I can't expect him to do 2 hours, worth of homework in one sitting. So I have to remember that I have to break it up for him, and let him take a break and go play or whatever it is that he, wants to do in the meantime, because it's easier with my 2 other girls. They're in 7th and 8th grade. They're able to kind of do it on their own. So I don't have to make them do it, versus my little guy. I feel like I have to be on top of him, of course, but it's just about routine. I think it's an adjustment to everybody, not just me.
Having everybody gaining a little bit of more insight or a little empathy for what teachers go through every day in the middle of all this, right?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Could never do that job.
I have to say hello to a couple people that are on. My agent or my creative director told me to say hello to Joe, who's here. We got Joe H., Suzanne Smolin. That's a familiar name. Hello from Nashville, and I see Amy Hill as well on board. I also have to ask my guests, have you guys fully stocked? Is there something that you were trying to find besides maybe the obvious? Seems everyone's hoarding toilet paper. What is going on?
Well, we have plenty of toilet paper, that's for
Good.
sure. My husband is very... I don't know. He's very on that kind of stuff. And luckily, before all this hit, we do like a Costco run, I would say every 2 to 3 weeks. And, luckily right before all this came out about my husband made a trip to Costco, and I think we're good. We're good for quite some time.
Okay. So with restaurants closing and drive-throughs only available, and possibly restaurants drive-throughs even closing sometime if we do go to a similar to Illinois or the whole state of California, what are your go-to recipes going to be to keep kids and adults happy? What are you thinking?
You know what? We've been doing it for quite some time. I would say, I don't know, 6 months. We do HelloFresh here.
Ah,
So I really like that. It's something that I do. It helps me when I do have to work. It helps me when the kids are busy, of course, with, all kinds of sports. It's something that's delivered to me. Everything's there.
hmm
So, I don't have to do too much crazy thought on dinners because it's there for me.
Well, I have to say
But
they're
here,
not a sponsor, but maybe we could get an endorsement deal with them. We're just starting.
yeah,
This is only our 5th day of broadcasting, so we'll see where it goes
yeah,
from there. All right.
there you go.
Kim, I appreciate your insights. I told you we'd keep it to about 15 minutes. We're right about there. Thank you. Is there anything else that you wanted to add or anyone you want to say hello to or a message for somebody before we go?
Well, just saying hi to my SMS family, and thanks, Ron, for having me.
Oh,
Want
you're very
everybody to stay safe, and luckily now we have FaceTime. We can kind of keep in touch with one another, and it still kind of feels like we're present.
hmm
So
hmm
that's about it. Everybody stay safe.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your inputs. I'm going to drop the call here and the audio. We're going to roll up the logo while I take a quick break and bring our another guest on. So stand by. We'll bring him on in a moment. All right, took a little longer than I thought. Hey, we're dealing with a little bit of internet issues here. I got everybody off the streaming just to make sure we're getting through. I don't know if you can comment in the comments exactly how we're doing. I know on my side I'm seeing some fairly low upload speeds, and hopefully our video quality is holding up because that was a great interview there with Kim Biggerstaff, and we got another one coming up here with another friend in the healthcare field. If we can give a nice co-video live TV welcome to a good friend of mine, Mr. Mike Topor. There you are, Mike. Hello, Mike. How you doing tonight?
Hello, Ron. How are you?
All right. Greetings. What's going on out in Porter County there, Mr. Topor?
Well, we're just abiding by the rules and doing what they're telling us to do at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Before we get started, if I could do a couple things before we start the Q&A.
Sure.
Is it okay if I start with a little prayer and reflection?
No, make it. Go ahead. Take on.
This is one of my favorite quotes out of the Bible. Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or terrified because of these times. For the Lord your God is with you and will never leave or forsake you. So, if you think about that, that's a good thing to start with there.
I believe it.
Another thing I'd like to do is just thank you and Tammy and Cassie and Mitch for all your time and effort putting this together. I think it's a great thing. Letting people get on air and letting the public know that you're concerned about this, and we need to know everybody's aspects and concerns.
Yeah, Mike, I have to say, your energy, your positive energy has practically doubled our upload bandwidth here. I'm looking at it right now. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to explain that.
Yesterday was really nice to hear and see Larry Gorsuch. As I refer to Funky Larry.
Funky Larry.
Yeah, he was a real positive energy, and just that was really nice to hear from him. And I just want to let you know the outfit's not just an outfit. It's like I'm just being incognito. I'm going undercover, and I'm trying to get some intel in some certain areas, and. So if you could just refer to me now as just Mickey Topor, maybe for the rest of the show, if that's all right.
I should have covered this in the pre-show because we already kind of let them know already. It's Mickey. Okay, Mick. What do you got, Mick? What have you found out in your investigations? What have you turned up out there anyhow?
Well, things are status quo except for following the rules. We're doing a lot of excessive cleaning and washing and I guess it's not excessive. We're doing what we're told to do, like we've always have. However, I think there's just a lot more awareness to the world around us right now. Hey, if I could just interrupt real quick, periodically I may just be kind of reaching over and hitting the Perel a little bit for the hand.
Right. Just hold on. I suppose I should, just for your safety as well.
Right.
Let me do a quick temporal scan here myself.
Yeah. Oh, I like it.
Yeah. 98.4, but definitely very cool. Very cool. So just for your safety and your household there.
Right.
Excellent. So I know that you're involved in physical therapy, and part of what I wanted to try and get into tonight was people getting a little stir crazy, a little cabin fever. If there's something they may be able to do inside and outside their houses that would be a good idea to get some safe exercise at a safe social distance, right? Right?
Yeah, Ron, the heightened anxiety is fueled by the uncertainty. I mean, it's really nobody knows where, how. Is it any different than any other virus? Is it some super virus? Is this, is it the end, or is it, hey, it'll pass in a couple weeks? The uncertainty is just causing a lot of anxiety, and it's noticeable. It's there. And what do we do about it? I don't know. You try to listen to all the healthcare professionals and the government, and you just hope we're getting told the truth, and things are, they're going to get better. I think we're going to be fine.
I do. And as I had said before in previous shows, some days you're during the days hearing all this different news and hearing all the stresses about what's going on. But once I get into the studio, the COVID EO live TV studio, a certain peace comes over me, knowing that I and my guests are doing the good work of lowering that collective anxiety. And that's what we hope to do. We're not here to scare. We're not here to misinform. We're here to try and entertain and then collectively lower some anxiety. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I would totally agree with that. And, I'm the one person at the clinic that's, I got the music up, I dance around a little bit, and it's like, hey, get your mind off of it.
Right.
Even if it's for 10 seconds, it's not going to be the end. There's absolutely no way this is going to be what, people are predicting and hoarding food over in toilet paper. So, there's a researcher years ago by the name of Dr. David Farr, Farr, and he has studied viruses over his career. And if you read any of his research, every virus has a bell curve. It's going to go up, it's going to spike, it's going to crest at some point, and it's going to decrease, and there'll be a cure for it, or there'll be a way to get around it. I think that's true for this virus too. So Dr. Farr, Farr, has done the research and spent a lot of time. So, you got to believe some of these things. And I just think it's a really trying time right now, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, I tend to agree. How have you been passing the time there? What's been going on? Doing more cooking, home cooking? cooking? Trying out any new recipes? What do you got up your sleeves?
A lot more Wii games.
Right.
And some bowling and baseball with the family last night. We're trying to stay positive, trying to watch a little bit of the news, but not getting too overwhelmed about it. I think we're all trying to reflect on, the positives. We do have some family that's up in age in terms of the, the cutoff where they have to be home and have to be aware of. So, we're making sure we're contacting these people and just, reassuring everybody that we're here for them. If you need anything, we can go out. Just a little bit more stay at home, obviously washing the hands, things that we should have been doing all the time. We don't need to teach people that, but it's definitely, a little bit more awareness of, the things that we should be doing.
Oh, yeah. Any short of having any trouble finding anything out there, Porter County? Well, toilet paper, the usuals, fresh vegetables and fruit. What are you looking at?
I think the one thing we had a little trouble finding today, my beautiful wife, Melissa, was looking for some Tylenol.
Mm-hmm.
Out of stock at several places. So,
mm-hmm.
And a thermometer, which we have a couple of them, but we just wanted to have another one just because some of them seem like they're not registering correctly on the low side. Nothing to be concerned about, but yeah, it's interesting. Shelves are definitely empty at some of the stores. Your necessities and staples are down, but. Yeah, I think we've been doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're going to stay in. We're going to practice. I took the dog for a nice walk tonight. Hey, you got to get out and get some fresh air. I think tomorrow we're all doing a family meditation at the Salt Caves in St. John tomorrow. Some family and friends, just an hour of let your mind ease on all this and meditation to release some of that DMT out of that pineal gland. So, yeah, not to get too involved in that.
I don't know if that's allowable. I don't know if YouTube's going to ban me for that. I hope that was clean. Was that clean?
Oh, yeah. It's something that's naturally occurring. So, yeah. So if we can get some of the DMT out and, get your anxiety levels down a little bit. And that's what people need, a little bit more courteous, around and about and just helping out each other. Mm-hmm. Let's come together.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that is the whole point of the show here, is just trying to keep people in contact with each other at appropriate distance, trying to maintain a little bit of connectivity, a little bit of shared experiences, and I really appreciate you coming on. Did you get a quick squirt of the Purell, just to be sure?
Yeah, just,
I was the beard. Yeah, I've seen that. Well, I've seen the beard.
There was quite a few things about beards from the CDC about and it's kind of, okay, I'll abide by it, I guess. For mask fitting at the hospital by next week, I have to have it gone. So, I don't know what the difference between the hair on my face and the hair on my head is. I don't want to get too involved. If they're telling me to shave my beard for a fit masking, I'll do it to protect my family, who's, most important in my life. So.
Amen. On that note, Mike, I'd like to say thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Will we be able to bring you back up again, bring you back on the show sometime? I think we're in for the long haul here.
Yeah, and I hope your mom's well, and, I don't think anything like, your eyeballs are going to pop out or anything because you've got some kind of weird thing going on.
That's insane. That's insane.
I just wanted to bring a little levity to all this. And, let's all get together and someday we'll all laugh about it.
IRL, in real life. Mike, I'm going to pull you down off the screen. Thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate your insights, and we look forward to having you back on the show again sometime soon.
Be safe and wash your hands, everyone.
I'm going to do it as soon as the show's over. Have a good night, Mike.
Amen.
All right. With that, we're going to wrap up our show for this week. That was episode 5 of Co-Video Live TV. We will be back with episode number 6, whether that occurs tomorrow, Saturday, or Monday. I think for sure we're going to be taking Sunday off. But I think the need is great enough where we will continue the show into the weekend and do at least Saturday, with the possibility of a Sunday matinee or a pop-up show. Don't know. Got the gear, got some new gear. Look forward to showing that off by Monday. New gear, new presentation, a slicker look with some new guests, and maybe even start bringing some of our old guests on, checking back in with some of the people that kicked us off. Appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you for joining us on Co-Video Live TV. Don't forget to subscribe. You'll be alerted when the broadcasts are coming up. Spread the word. Spread it. We want the videos to spread virally, pun intended. We'll see you soon. Take care. Thank you.